Hi, we're back alive with another guest this morning, and his name is C.J. Liscum.
Hello.
Hi, C.J.
Pleasure.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And I'm happy because you're bringing us some music this morning.
Yes, I have a motto. I live my life one song at a time. You know, that's all I can do.
That's great. Well, tell me, when did you really get interested in music?
When I was in 5th grade, I had a teacher, and he always played his guitar on Friday, whoever did all their work. And everybody else that didn't finish their work had to just listen to it, but the rest of us got to sit around while he played his guitar.
Wow.
The next year, they offered different activities to learn something in that elementary school, and of course he said, well, I'll teach guitar, basics. So I dragged my mom to the store, got a guitar, and dragged to school, and one day at that Friday, he goes, okay, whoever finishes their work gets to go sing while Carlos plays the songs. And that was me. I'm Carlos, but I go by CJ and my stage name. And so that day was just a turning point. It was like, really? And he looked at me and said, yeah. He goes, you know how to play all the songs. My friends looked at me like, you know, you're a superstar. And I played that song, and I'll never forget that day. It was such a great feeling. And so I've always had an interest in music. Never really did anything with it. Always had a guitar, knew 10, 12 songs, just for my own entertainment, therapy. And it wasn't until I was about 40, I was about 40 when I started playing with a couple of guys in a garage.
No kidding.
And then about 5 years later, I said I want to get out of the garage. And I started playing everywhere and anywhere. Wow. And my poor wife had to suffer through the whole thing, but she was very supportive of it. So as a musician, and all you musicians out there know, you have that kind of support, that's gold.
Oh, you know? That's for sure.
And a couple years into that, it seems like I plateaued in things. So then I started writing my own songs. And I found a formula that worked for me.
Wow.
And during that time, though, I started drawing comics. And that was a great world. I started doing one-panel comics. And it was just so much fun to be able to do a setup and a punchline. And I could come up with my own stuff, and as my world, and it had to be original, you know? And so I found a passion. I found passion.
Wow.
You know, and I ended up sending in resumes to, hopefully, you know, as any, you want to be in the newspaper someday, and portfolios to all these different syndication companies. I did a self-published book just to do it. You know, you just got to get out there and do it. You know. Yeah. So a lot of my life is pushed with philosophy. Now, you know, life is. It's real easy to be the 9-to-5 person and enjoy life, have vacation. You know, that's great. That's wonderful. But at one point, it's like that old saying, I went out on a limb to do that. And that exhilaration, that feeling that you get when you're out on the limb, you come back to the big branch, you go, whew, that was something. You got a lot out of it. So now I try to do that as much as I can because I like hanging out on the limb. And you come back with much more pleasure about what you did, the mysteries of what you could. You find your strengths and weaknesses, and it helps you in your writing, helps you in your viewpoints of life. It doesn't make you a perfect person per se. You're always going to make mistakes, but there's so much more richness that comes out of it. You know, so when I see people that are much younger than me that are really involved in what they're doing as to how I am today at a much older age, I really, you know, it's like everybody has their time, I think.
I think so, definitely.
You know, you can't push that person. All you can do is show them something, show them what you're doing, and then it's up to them to grab hold and do what they can.
Fantastic. Now, do you have to work at a regular job still? Or what?
Unfortunately, yes, but you know we have to pay our bills.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because that was the hardest thing for me because, you know, to do the art you need to have that time, and yet you got to work at something else, and it's really hard to try to do both of them. So I got to give you a lot of credit.
Yeah, it's like you were mentioning earlier on the last gentleman, Andy Gomez, that you were interviewing about having to take the time to really, if you want to excel at something, you got to really take your time and like playing guitar. You got to spend hours. My friend of mine once said, "Can you teach me guitar?" I said, "Sure." It'd take me 5 minutes to teach you 3 chords and a basic song. He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "I could do that, and you could do it right now. But when I come back in a week, how much practice you put into it will tell you and me, how good you are."
Exactly.
And I've had them both where it's like, "Well, I just put it to the side." I said, "Well, that's okay. I mean, but you won't get anything out of it if you don't practice."
No, that's for sure. It's really music, especially. I think is because there's so many different to think about. To think of the lyrics, you have to think of the melody. You've got to think of the rhythm and all sorts of things. It's not like you can just sit down and do boom.
No, it's not. When I first started writing, it was just a great place to show your emotions that you have inside and just splatter them with words and put a melody, whether it's dark, it's who we are. We're full of all these emotions, and you have to express them, whether it's frustration, anger, happiness, joy, envy, and how do you, low self-esteem. And it's just who we are. We're made up of all this, and so you have to find, if you can find that vessel to be able to do that, whether it's in art, whether it's in just writing, whether it's in just writing for poems. I love going to open mics where there's a lot of poetry. That's how I really started into playing a lot more music, was going to open mics and listen to a lot of poetry, and people would just say whatever is on their mind, and it's who they are. And that's sometimes the simplest poems were the ones that were most touching.
I know, isn't that? It's really something. I just love the art so much. Every one of them. I was told, when I was younger and I was doing different things, and somebody said, "You got to focus on just one of them. Just focus on one." And they were probably right, but that wasn't me. I love them all. So I did everything. I did everything. And I'm so happy I had such a wonderful, wonderful life and such a wonderful career. So I have nothing to complain about. So I know how you feel. You just don't stop. I mean, you can be, if you live to 105, you're still going to have that art in you.
I hope to be 105 someday and remember that.
Well, people are making it nowadays. That's not impossible anymore.
It's true. I met a gentleman after one of my shows here, and my wife and I were driving around, and there was a yard sale. And this gentleman was out there, and happy as can be, very, very elderly. So he's part of the yard sale, and I asked him, he's selling everything and stuff, and he was just, but he wanted to tell me that his birthday was just the other day. He was 93 years old. So I said, "Well, let me ask you a question, mister." And he goes, "Sure." I said, "We're about 42 years apart. So when you were about 52, he's sitting there thinking, "Yeah, I remember." I go, "Obviously you didn't know how long you're going to live for." I go, "But did you ever think your wildest dreams that if you did turn 93, you're going to be standing here in jeans and a T-shirt having a yard sale?" And he said, "No, I never did think that." I said, "Well, I want to be like you when I grow up then. I want to have a yard sale when I turn 93 years old." Little things like that really inspire me. It's a pivotal point. I start looking back and go, okay, 42 years apart that we have. But 42 years ago, when I was about 10 or 11, that's a lot of life. And sometimes we forget that. We get stuck with, and we hear so much. I mean, life is so fast, media and social media, and just life. And then you start going, but when you really look at it, it's like, wow, that's a whole lifetime I can still live if everything goes great.
Yeah, you got to appreciate every single moment of it and keep going. So many people they think because they're older, they just have to sit there and fade away. But you don't. You got to get yourself out of that and do something. Even pick a piece of paper up and draw, plunk on a piano, whatever. But get into it. Of course, the music is so wonderful because it's very healing.
Yeah,
music is very healing.
It's been very. I'll go to it all the time, almost every day. You'll find me playing however mood I'm in, I'll just pick up my guitar and start playing songs.
So where do you mainly appear so people can come and hear you?
You can go to our website and catch all our dates. I'm in Hanford, and I'm primarily play here in Fresno. And we're at www.cjliscumband.com. And this Saturday, we'll be here at the Fig Garden Village at the Patio Cafe. And we'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. And they have an outdoor patio. It's going to be a little warm, but they got fans and stuff, and the food is great. So what we're going to do is we play for 2 hours, and then during our break time, we end up sometimes playing just MP3 music, whichever. But this week, a friend of mine who's himself and his wife and his daughters, they sing gospel music. Oh. And they're going to come out, and I said, great, they're going to come out and sing us some gospel music for 15 minutes on our break. Great. So if you're out and about on Saturday night, Big Garden Village, 6 to 8, and at 7 o'clock we're going to have some great...
Exactly, so you have a band.
Yes.
I was just thinking of you working by yourself, but you got a whole band.
Oh, yes, I got 3 or 4 other guys that pop up, and
that is
we play classic rock and roll, and we incorporate a lot of the originals that I've written into it.
Well, we're going to ask you to play for us, but I just want to make sure that maybe you can repeat where.
Oh, you bet.
Because sometimes it goes by so fast.
This weekend at the Patio Cafe, 6 to 8 p.m., and it's in the Fig Garden Village off of Shaw and North Palm.
That's fantastic. And what are you going to play for us this morning?
Well, I'll sing a lively song that kind of wraps up a lot of where I've been and what I'm trying to do. How's that?
That sounds fantastic. I'm going to move out of the way here and let you go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Move this one over here.
Think it'll work?
Yep.
All right. It's a true story, Carol.
Okay.
I was 13, life took a little turn. Found rock and roll, never to return. Brown-eyed girl was my favorite song. Made the girls dance, I sang along. Grew my hair long, learned to play guitar. Looking for a break, be a superstar. Fame and fortune was the way to go. Just needed me a song on the radio. Life took another turn. I found true love, never to return. Brown-eyed girl was more than a song. I asked her out to dance, she smiled and sang along. Well, I got myself a job, but kept playing my guitar. I became a dad, I was a superstar. Still fame and fortune, just a different show.